If you're anything like me, you suffer from chronic overthinking and rumination. Your life is a cerebral hamster wheel built in hell. And I want to get out of that. I'm making this video that's going to be quite sloppy as an exercise to get myself out of that destructive pattern. And I invite you to come along with me. Now, I'm going to start today's video off with a bit of a lengthy metaphor. About a week ago, I was in great turmoil about some non-existent threat that I'd created in my brain, and I was having a bad day. And for me, things can go really high, like enlightenment, mindful, productivity. I can pop off, but they also can go very low. And as exhilarating as a rocky boat can be, I'd prefer a steady ship. Anyways, by some, grace of God, I experienced, if for only a moment, some clarity of mind the other day. And I scribbled down this metaphor, and I like it, so I'm going to share it, and I hope that you like it too. It's titled, in my notes, The Thinking Mind and Cars. Here we go. The mind is a lot like the engine of a car. It is a component that informs the body's actions both consciously and subconsciously. Only when directly linked to the body's actions is the engine a useful component. When we do not put the car into gear, however, we are left with nothing but a revving engine on top of a motionless vehicle. Does that make sense? Well, I'm going to expand upon it. The great illusion of thought, again, in this case, your mind is the engine, your body's the car. The great illusion of thought is quite similar to the illusion of an engine. You can put your foot on the gas pedal all you want, and whether or not the car is in gear, the engine will make the same noise. A motionless car with a revving engine, from a sonic standpoint, is really no different than a car that's in motion. Similarly, I think I fall victim to the illusion my mind casts upon me. I think and nothing happens. And so I think more, and still nothing happens, until I'm pushing my mind to its very limit, and that noise gets too loud to bear. My systems begin to fail, and my mind's capacity goes beyond the red line until it can push no more. And still, nothing happens. I have not moved an inch. If you're like me and you get overstimulated, and you start, the brain speeds up, it turns into almost a white noise. It's just a buzzing, and it's really hard to bring that down. And there's pain associated with that buzzing. So, for me, I turn to vices like marijuana, doom scroll, or in more productive cases, I clean my whole house for an hour and a half. Maybe I go work out for 3 hours. That's one thing I have down is physical activity. But it's always trying to escape this noise that I'm creating here. So what do you end up with? The hood is smoking from overheating. The car is no longer fit to drive for a period of time. In other words, you're cooked. And in the same way, when I torture myself on the cerebral hamster wheel, I am no longer fit to act. This begins this shame pain loop where I redline my brain from thinking so hard, white knuckling my thoughts when it's not linked to action. My brain is a tool to assist in my actions, but you have to put the body first. If you put the mind first, things can get messy. And then I'm no longer fit to act. Then I feel broken. If you ever had a doom scrolling day or a day of anxiety or overthinking, and then you finally snap out of it and you're like, I'm ready to do something, but then you can't do anything because you've redlined the whole day. Your engine's on fire. But then you can start to shame yourself and be like, oh, well, I'm not good for anything. I can't even read 10 pages of a book. I can't even get myself to go to the gym. I can't even get myself to make a YouTube video. You feeling me right now? So what do? We close the garage for the night, and we wake up the next day hoping for a different result. But the fact is a different result will never come from revving an engine. The car must first be put into gear. But what if we get a flat tire on the road, we ask? This is all the rationales we put in our brain before just putting that sucker into gear. What if we get a flat tire on the road? What if we crash? What if we run out of gas? Then what do? What if our brakes fail? These questions can't be answered ahead of time, unfortunately. No amount of thinking or thought can prepare you for the reality of experimentation and putting yourself out there and just acting. There's always going to be speed bumps and unpredictable factors. But you're not going to find out if you never leave the garage. And you certainly aren't going to make it to a car mechanic to fix all of your self-inflicted fucking problems, right? Thinking about therapy is not therapy. Thinking about making art is not making art. Thinking about learning a new skill is not learning a new skill. So, what I encourage you to do, and what I mean by that is I'm begging, pleading for myself to listen to my own advice, is to put the car into gear before pressing the gas. If you don't have your foot on the gas, if you don't have your car in gear, if you're not in drive, or at least reverse, if you're not in drive, don't even bother putting your foot on the gas. You're going to do it subconsciously. I've been doing it my whole life. And it's getting exhausting. I'm 27. I'm tired, Grandpa. Put it into gear. And know that when you do put it into gear, that's an act of courage and an act of bravery. You're leaning into the unknown. And it's going to take some awareness. But it is necessary because the mind is useless when it is not in direct service of action. Revving your engine is not the same as driving, even though it sounds the same. I just lost my background. Oh, the whole aesthetic is kill right now. Bring it back up. Thought I had this on no sleep. Let's turn on amphetamine. Good Lord. The reason I say this, and to give myself some credit, I speak in very black and white terms. I do things. But I have on and off YouTube for my whole life. There's a level of fear and pain that I associate with YouTube, probably because I just got made fun of a couple times in middle school, a couple times in high school, a couple times in college. And then what do? You just stuff it all down. But this has always been my favorite thing on earth. And I spam on TikTok. I post all kinds of silly foolishness on TikTok. I've built a whole freelance career. I make money with my camera. I've gotten to travel the world. All these things. But there's a level of inauthenticity to everything I'm doing because a lot of it is fear-based. A lot of my career and the things I've managed to accomplish, although I'm proud of them, it's almost like it was all a defense mechanism because in my mind I thought if I get the external validation, if I do cool stuff, if I can work with big artists or cool people or a peer professional, that'll really show all the people that told me I was a loser for posting YouTube videos, which I can probably count on one hand, but I'm a sensitive piece of shit. Cat's out of the bag. And I remember all of you. And some of you I love, and you're good people. But it stuck with me. And there's also this perfectionism because I have learned all of these skills in production where I'm like, well, I can't make a YouTube video until I have the time to edit a full short film. And how can I make it so that it's thoughtful, but also maybe funny and also cool and aesthetic, and how can it have every single aspect of my being? And damn it, I am so sick and tired of trying to find answers to questions that are all hypothetical. You should ask questions while you stumble your way through things, and that's not revolutionary at all because there's millions of doers out there that are out there doing it. And I'm not doing it, and that bums me out. And so this is me putting the car into gear, and I'm not even going to edit this. I don't care. I do so much editing for work, and so I just end up making nothing. And if you don't know me at all, we can get into that more at a later day. But I work for music festivals. I tour with DJs and artists, and I've been self-employed making content and art with my camera for the last 3 or 4 years, which has been a blessing. But again, there's always that asterisk in my mind because I know I'm not answering my heart's call. Because I'm just putting that sucker into gear. But every morning I make the same mistake, and it sure feels like work when my brain's screaming, when it's going vroom vroom, but it's not, because I'm just sitting there thinking about things. And that might just be the plight of having a degree in philosophy, but I think that the chicken came before the egg. I got a degree in philosophy because this has been my reality for my whole life. So, one small step for mankind. Here. Get out of your own head, baby. Just Whatever it is, take the smallest step imaginable. I was starting to spiral again this morning. I finally finished a client project. I had an open day to make some personal content. Then the fear struck like lightning. Hailstorm of self doubt. And I got so fed up that I just set the camera up. And now I'm here talking to you. All three of you. Fucking love you. I don't think I should curse on YouTube. Whoops. I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know. If you're a creative person, like creativity, whoa, he's rambling now. He's off base. Creativity is kind of like a faucet, and you have to keep it cracked open. It's like a faucet in the winter. You have to keep it cracked open and let it drip. Otherwise, it's going to freeze over, and then that pressure is going to build, and you're not going to feel so good. So it doesn't have to be perfectly mineralized, chemical free, iodized water. I'm just pulling words out of a hat right now. But it's just throw some tap in the sink, big dog. Throw some tap in the sink. You don't have to have a Brita. You don't have to be dabbling into reverse osmosis. Throw some tap into the sink. We can get into the logistics at a later date, but I don't want your pipes to burst. So, all right, I'm going to go try to have a day. I'm going to try to go have a day like a human being does. And I love you in a sort of like inauthentic, parasocial, internet kind of way. Because I don't know you. And you might have views that I disagree with. It's 2024. We don't love people that have views that we disagree with. All right, shut the fuck up. See ya.